How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. Now on today's show we're going to be taking a look back at last night's Carabao Cup matches. Plenty of drama, plenty of goals, and a win for Arsenal in there. And the last piece of news, we're going to stick with Arsenal, of course, and we're going to take a look at the potential opponents in today's Europa League draw.
I represent my fucking self.
How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. That's right. So the first place we're going to start is last night's Carabao Cup matches. Some good games in there. There was 3 games in total. Of course, there was Liverpool against Arsenal. That was the big one, but we will get onto that in a moment. The first one was the playoff final all over again. Brentford against Fulham. And I'll tell you something, Brentford, they wish they could have got this scoreline a couple of months ago. Because they would be a Premier League team if they did. They run out 3-0 winners. And as usual, Bellerin scores a couple of goals. And one of them in particular, my word, what a goal. It was the turn and the nutmeg. I think it was on Michael Hector. Oh my word, I've watched it back. That is disgusting. And not only did he do that, and create the space for himself, but he's then able to just pick his spot, bottom corner. What an unbelievable goal. And if Brentford can keep hold of him, you know, whilst this transfer window is still open, and he stays at Brentford for the remainder of the season, then they've got every chance of being in and amongst the, you know, sides that could try and get into the Premier League. They are in their new stadium now as well, and it's such a shame for them that, you know, they've got this new home. It looks absolutely lovely, but nobody's allowed inside. And it's a kind of stadium where you think, yeah, it should be in the Premier League. It's a lovely looking stadium, but it all depends whether they can keep hold of him, because he's definitely attracting interest. He would have been anyway, for what he done last year in the Championship. But then when you watch him in this as well, a couple of days before the window shuts, you've got to say there's going to be a Premier League team in there somewhere that's going to try and acquire his services, because he is an unbelievable player. And Fulham, well, they're not having a very, very good start to life, you know, this season. I would say in the Premier League, but I mean in general, because they're just not doing anything. And Scott Parker, he is under massive pressure already. And I feel that if these results keep coming and the defeats are as heavy as this, then I can't see him being in the job for much longer. I honestly can't. But we will wait and see whether they can turn it around or not. Next game was Aston Villa against Stoke City, and I think this was a bit of a surprise result, shall we say. Stoke City winning this one. Sam Vokes with the goal. And I can't really say much more than that on this game. I haven't actually seen the highlights. I don't actually, you know too much about the game itself and what actually happened and everything else. But what I do know is that Stoke City won, and they are through to the next round, and they will be playing Tottenham in the next round, and that's a very, very interesting tie. When you look at the draws in itself, and Brentford, their reward for beating Fulham is a home draw against Newcastle. So yeah, there's a good opportunity for all 4 of those teams there. One of the other parts of the draw is Everton against Manchester United at Goodison. That looks to be a very, very tasty tie, especially with the way that Everton are playing at the moment. And that leaves 2 more teams, and Arsenal against Manchester City. Yeah, cheers for that draw. Now, the reason why we have that draw is, of course, Arsenal won at Anfield. We are the first team to win at Anfield domestically in 3 years, I think that is, or something. Their home record is phenomenal. But look, let's be honest. Both teams made a lot of changes to their normal lineups. Liverpool, there were a few surprise inclusions in there. Virgil van Dijk started the game for Liverpool, and so did Mo Salah. That was a big surprise, Mo Salah starting the game. For Arsenal, Leno started, and we will get on to him in a moment. The likes of Nicola Pepe started as well. And both teams, they had the experience in there as well as the youngsters and everything else. And over the course of the 90 minutes, I would say Arsenal had a very good opening 15 minutes and should have been in front. Eddie and Nketiah missing a gilt-edged chance. Joe Willock and Pepe doing really well to set him up, and he fluffed his lines, to be honest. And then for the remainder of the first half, it was kind of a bit cagey and, you know, little chances here or there. Right on half-time, Leno made a fabulous save. Minamino hit the bar with his goal at mercy. And then you thought, right, what's going to happen second half? And Liverpool were the better side in the second half. And Leno, he made a string of saves. Absolutely stunning saves. Arsenal, they did have their chances as well, though. A brilliant ball by Nicola Pepe. And Rob Holding, any side of the keeper is in. And it was a point-blank save by Adrian. And then in the final seconds of the game, Joe Willock burst through. Was tackled by James Milner. He fell over and he stopped the ball with his hand. Now, there's no VAR in this competition, but if there was, I've no doubt a penalty would have been given. But ultimately, it finished a draw and we had to go to penalties. Same kind of thing as the Community Shield with that game there and penalties. And first couple of penalties, very good. Lacazette's one was a really good penalty. And then Mohamed El Neni missed his penalty. And you were thinking, oh, here we go. Advantage Liverpool, because they were taking the penalties first as well. And then they missed Origi. Brilliant save from Leno. And that puts us back in the driving seat in terms of us getting the equalising goal. And then Ainsley Maitland-Niles stepped up. I have never seen a guy walk up to a penalty like this man does. It's just insane. He just strolls up. It's like he hasn't got a care in the world. It's like he's playing in the park with his mates. And the way he just put it into the net, and he's laughing with Adrian about it. It's hilarious. I was like, oh my word. And then it goes to sudden death. Liverpool miss. And it's down to Joe Willock to send us through. It was not a great penalty. Adrian got a hand to it. Should have kept it out. It trickled over the line. And we are through to the next round. And like I was saying, we will be playing Manchester City. So we haven't had much luck with this draw. Leicester away, Liverpool away, Manchester City at home. Wow. If we're going to possibly win this trophy, then we've got to do it the hard way. That is for sure. Because Manchester City, even their second string side, is going to be a very, very good side. So we're going to have to wait and see. And my thoughts on this game will be more in detail for the player ratings, which will be out in the next couple of hours or so. Last piece of news involves the Europa League. Of course, the real European trophy, the real European competition. None of that Champions League stuff yesterday. We're never going to mention none of that. Even though Manchester United end up drawing Leipzig and PSG in their group. City and Chelsea, well, they got easy ones, relatively. Same as Liverpool. Manchester United have got absolutely stitched up with their group. But it is what it is. And some very, very interesting names in here. A lot easier to pronounce than some of the ones I was trying a couple of weeks ago. But Arsenal, they are in pot one. So any team in pot one Arsenal cannot face, and of course there is the rules about facing teams from your own country, so we won't be facing anybody from the Premier League. But in pot 1, Spurs are in there. Arsenal, of course, Roma, Napoli, Benfica, Bayer Leverkusen, Villarreal, CSKA Moscow, Braga, Ghent, PSV and Celtic. So we cannot face anybody from pot 1. In pot 2, there's some good sides in here. Dinamo Zagreb, Sparta Prague, Slavia Prague, Ludogorets, Young Boys, Red Star Belgrade, Rapid Vienna, Leicester City, who of course we cannot play, Karabag, please, not Baku again, PAOK, Standard Liège and Real Sociedad. In pot 3, Granada, AZ, Feyenoord, AEKA Athens, Maccabi Tel Aviv, Rangers, Molde, Hoffenheim, Lask, Hapoel Sheva, Cluj and Zoya. They're getting a little bit harder now. Pot 4, Lille, Nice, Rijeka, Rio Ave, Dundalk, Slovan Liberec, Antwerp, Lech Poznan, Sivasspor, Wolfsberger, Ammonia Nicosia, CSKA Sofia. Whew, not too bad. So anyone from pot 2, 3 or 4. If I'm going to hazard a guess, I'll say from pot 2, just because it's going to be banter and I just know what it's like. We're going to end up getting Karabag and going to have to go all the way to Azerbaijan. I don't know what the rules are in Azerbaijan at the moment with COVID and everything else. Maybe you're allowed in the stadiums in Karabag. That could be interesting. Might have to take a trip to Baku again. Oh no, please. I've been there twice, man. Not anything against the country. It's a beautiful place. Don't get me wrong. But just too many bad memories, man. But yeah, I don't know what the restrictions are with some of these European teams and whether fans are allowed in their stadiums and whatnot. So maybe someone in the comment section can let me know. Is there any teams in this Europa draw where fans can go to, where the restrictions are not in place within those countries, and there's no ban on anyone from England in particular going over there because of COVID and everything else? But I think, yeah, maybe Karabag. Pot 3. I'll probably say AZ because I believe that's in Holland. And the reason why I'd say that, because how ironic it would be that we get a trip to somewhere close to Amsterdam and troops ain't allowed to go. He'd be wounded. And pot 4. Some nice little trips in there. I'd go with Dundalk. I think that would be a wicked little trip. Not that far either, is it? So, yeah, I suppose that's one. Most definitely. I suppose Rangers as well in pot 3. That could be one. That would be. But given the fact we're not allowed in stadiums at the moment, I'd rather not play Rangers because I would love to go there and watch Arsenal play. I have been lucky enough to go to Rangers before. And I've also been to Celtic Park. So it's not that I would just love to go and watch a game of football there again. And whilst we're not allowed, I wouldn't want to. So yeah, we will wait and see today who we get. Should be interesting, and no doubt everyone's going to laugh because it's the Europa League, but it is what it is. So listen, that is it for today's DT's Daily. As I was saying a little bit earlier on, there will be a player ratings for yesterday's victory against Liverpool next couple of hours or so. Tomorrow there will be a preview for our game against Sheffield United on Sunday. And then on Sunday at 6 o'clock on the DTFC channel, you can see our last league game. Trust me, you do not want to miss this game. Red cards, yellow cards, you name it. It was happening. It is what it is, isn't it? Welcome to League Football. I'm loving every minute of it. So if you're new around here, do make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you smash a like on this video. And I will see you lot soon. I'm out of here.